my first video stopped. So we're making a second video of how to clean the panels on your RV. Now, I happen to have 345 watt panels. I charge at 80 amps. I charge my thing at 80 amps. Now, these are the regular panels that you would see on a house. I went with Solar World and I went with Canadian Solar. Those are the two type panels I have. Now, you could walk across these. Now, I'm 200 pounds. I go right across these panels. I'll walk right across them, both of them. I'm not going to do hopscotch on it, but I'm going to walk across them. We're camping at the ocean, and I use everything. I could even run the AC, but I choose not to do that because if you do that, the AC uses about 100 amps, 120 amps, and I'm only charging at 80, so I will be losing if I do it. I'm capable of it. I've done it to experiment, but when the nighttime comes, you're not going to have enough to run your 3 TVs all night and then make a pot of coffee in the morning. So this is the way I did it. I ran these down, and I'll tell you, I'm very happy with this setup I did. Now, since I have a good MPP charge controller, I'm running 41 volt panels, so I got 82 volts going into that thing, and on each side I broke it into 2 charge controllers. That's how I did it. It's interesting the way I did it, and I get 80 amps out of it. I noticed I wasn't quite getting the 80, and we have pretty good sun right now, so I went up on the roof. I started cleaning it. Just use water if you can to clean it. Just water and a napkin. Now, if you must, you could use a little dish detergent if you needed to help you out with that, if you had to. I have not used anything yet, and these panels have been up for a few years. It only seems to get really dirty in the low corners, but I'm going to go over this again. I went over it 3 times. I want to get every bit of film off it. When I go back down, I'll be charging at the 80 amps again. So that's all I have to say with the solar. I'm happy. I mean, these are not the 12 volt panels that Renology sells, although they're good. They have their place. If you have a PWM charge controller, you know, I happen to have MPPT, look up the difference. I could hit it with a high voltage and it'll drop it down to 12, and it'll do it very efficiently, where a PWM, if you went into it with 40 volts, would throw all the voltage away except for the first 12 volts and keep it. That's kind of the only way I could explain that one. So really, if you're running home panels like I'm doing that and not 12 volts, you absolutely must get an MPP charge controller. Not a cheap Chinese one that you see for $39. You better get a real charge controller that's going to do that. So I happen to be, believe it or not, I'm using EP Ever. I actually like them. EP Ever is good. I'm pretty happy with them. So, all right. Hope that helped anyone deciding how to clean their solar panels. This is what I do.